some of these cycles that we get into mentally, Garrett, where it's just like, well, that's just kind of the way it is. Let me just do that. It's like, well, that's just the way it is. Like, what do you mean that's just the way it is? Like, everybody is their own individual, unique person. And if it was just the way it is, then we'd all be exactly the same. And we're not. Welcome back, everyone, to 10 Tenths, where we coach real estate agents into high-performing businesses that fuel their lives. And if that's you, you're going to want to stick around because we have a great episode talking about limits, why you might want to test yourself a little bit beyond them, how you might want to do it. But before we get into that, if you want to push your limits with us in person, this might be your last chance to grab an extra seat, the last seat potentially that is available for our Limitless event coming up in October. Just go to 10tenths.co and you'll find it there, or limitless.10tenths.co. And this is our first live event, Garrett. I'm excited because it's going to be amazing. And it is a precursor to what's going to come, hopefully on a semi-regular basis here with us at 10 Tenths and hosting things like this. That said, Garrett, co-host, co-founder, friend, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm excited that we're going to get to talk about limits today because I find that limits for people are a lot of times self-imposed. We have our own vision, our own ideas of what we think we can do. And it's going to be fun because we're going to get a chance to talk about what we're going to be doing a little bit at the event here coming up and why we're using a certain activity to help people understand where limits might be set in their world. And so we're gonna break that down a little bit today, share some of our ideas of where limits are set and why this event, why what we're gonna do at this event is being done this way. Because I've had a lot of people get a hold of me, Matt, and they're like, I'm not sure about driving. I'm not sure about like going fast on a track, and you can tell, like, the coolest part about the conversations I've had so far is you can already hear in their voices, in their mind, the limits of what they think they are going to be doing or what they think they're capable of. I've even had some people already say, I think I'll sit out for that first half of that day. You know, other people can do that, and then I'll do the rest of the event. I'm like, you're not looking at this from the whole reason we're doing this. Like, we're going to learn some stuff about you, and I don't care what level you go on the track at. I don't care how fast you go. I don't care anything about that. It's just about, are you learning a new place, something that you've never done before, pushing yourself just outside of the box of what you thought you were capable of doing? Did you do that? Because if you can learn that going into the business planning that we're about to do, Matt, right, coming out after this event,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're going to look at goals differently. You're going to look at the activities that you can do to run this business, the time that you take off, the vacations that you plan. I'm hoping we're going to have everybody walk out of this going, oh, let's go bigger. Let's go bigger. Why not? What's to lose?
Yeah. Or, I love using activities that are outside of our professional field to help readjust our mindset. It's one of the reasons why I love looking for ways to push your body in exercise, whether that's just through regular exercise, maybe signing up for a competition, or, registering for the turkey trot, or whatever it might be, right? To say, like, it's a little uncomfortable, right? Because this isn't necessarily about trying to push against an objective limit. It's an opportunity to get uncomfortable so that you can escape some of these cycles that we get into mentally, Garrett, where it's just like, well, that's just kind of the way it is. Let me just do that. It's like, well, that's just the way it is. Like, what do you mean that's just the way it is? Like, everybody is their own individual, unique person. And if it was just the way it is, then we'd all be exactly the same. And we're not. And so how do we get out of that cycle of thinking? It's like, well, you go put yourself in an environment that might be a little bit uncomfortable, and you do something that you're like, man, I didn't even know that I could do this. And the cool thing about what we're doing at our event is that when you get on a track, which, by the way, we're going back to the place where Garrett and I met for the first time in person after 5 years of working with each other. We finally met in person in Greenville, South Carolina, to go drive BMWs on a racetrack. And it was awesome, right? And so we're like, hey, that would be a great way to do our first event. And so we're bringing people together to go drive BMWs on a track in a professional setting with professional drivers. they're actually not going to really be doing the driving. We're going to be doing the driving, but they help guide, which gives you a little bit of comfort. So you put yourself in a place where you're like, I'm going to get a little uncomfortable here, but there's this added sense of comfort because there's a professional over here who's telling me that I can do this, which gives me a bit more confidence to go do it. So, comparing this to like how we kind of push against our limits, Garrett, real quick, is a lot of times we're like, I'm scared to do it. And so we don't ever do it because we feel like we're alone in these things. If you can find an environment where you can have someone there who's maybe done it, or they just have the confidence in you because they've seen a ton of other people do it, like what a great place to be. Because then you have someone who's saying like, Garrett, don't worry about it. Like, we got you. Like, I've seen people do this a million times. Even if you mess it up, you're going to be totally okay, which is going to then give you the confidence to come back here and do this again. And that's exactly what we get a chance to do when you get put in a performance vehicle on a racetrack, which are also designed for if you mess up, you're going to be okay. There's no oak tree at the top of the corner that you're going to crash into.
Wouldn't that be awesome? They create this incredible environment, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, there's an oak tree at the end of turn 2. Don't hit that."
Make sure you hit your
engineers,
brakes.
Engineers are just laughing every day. They're sitting up in the tower just watching it, just going like, "That's great." Whoever designed that, put that right there. That was brilliant.
Ticket prices would probably go way up for the amount of repairs that they would be needing to make to cars.
It would not work the best for that. But so the reason I love this is that I've done lots of driving experiences. I've gone and done lots of time on a track, and these types of experiences, when I first started doing them, what it allowed me to see is that I use a car every single day. Most of us use a car every single day. And all of a sudden you're put into an environment where you're going, I didn't know a car could do that. I didn't know how much dynamic stability control on a car actually will save you. Like, we all think if we go around a turn too fast and all 4 tires break loose, like we're flying out into the middle of the trees and we're all going to die. You take some of the newer cars nowadays and you look at the tools and the things that are built into them, and it's the most amazing thing that when you get too fast into a corner, it goes, hold on there a second there, Tiger. We're going to apply some brakes to some wheels. I'm going to take the power out of the gas pedal. By the way, you don't get any more power. We're going to take that away from you right now. And we're going to point this car back into the space that it's supposed to be in. And then we'll start to give you some power back. And let's tone it down a little bit. The car actually does that in these vehicles we're going to put you out in. But the cool part is that you get that safe place of going, here's where these limits are. And there's an actual theory, like when we go to track days, there's a side of, do you turn off the traction and stability control or do you leave it on? And I've done track days both ways, where I've shut the entire system off, made the car completely analog, which is an option. Most people don't even know how to turn it off. I know how to turn it off on almost every vehicle. I don't know what that says about me. It's great. The other side of it is, do you leave it on and do you get better track times? And I've had moments that I've gone out and turned it all off, and you're trying to manhandle the car and you're learning about how far it will go, and you can go flying off the track. There's the other side of it of, can I leave all the safety systems on, but drive in a way of complete control where those things never have to correct me? And it's a really interesting thing when you start to learn those limits with those safety measures in place. And then all of a sudden you get faster and you get faster and you get faster, because sliding off the track is not fast. That we know that. And in having this thing take the power away from you isn't fast either. And so all of a sudden you start to learn these little rules and how to manage this thing. And this is, I think, in our world, in our life a lot, Matt. We don't have the guardrails in our business. Let's talk about burnout in business, like complete burnout, where you're like, I don't want to get out of bed today. I don't want to face any more business. I don't want to look at my email. I just need to kind of protect myself. That is like being in a car on a track and you're out in the sand pit. You're off the racetrack. You're not driving anymore. You're not engaging this anymore. And so then we say, okay, well, how can we then go back into this business, show up for it, but we're going to set up some safety mechanisms in here that allow us, we bring in certain people to help us with the business. We bring in certain tools and technology. We bring in certain things to start to eliminate some of the friction in here and allow us to go faster and faster and faster. And what we find, comparing this back to cars, is that it's not manhandling the car that makes you go fast. It's actually being slow and precise and being in control. And what that allows you to do is actually go faster with the car. And this is what I love about this event so much, is you're going to walk away from it in this scenario that you've set up going, what if I just slowed things down a little bit, got a little bit more in control, and how much faster could I go with this business? What different results could I produce at a higher level? And you're just going to start looking at things differently. And I'm so excited that this is how we're going to start this, Matt. This
is just day one.
This is for a half day of day one, because we're going to have a day and a half then after that of just dreaming and looking outside the box and picturing this thing from a different angle. And then the camaraderie. I'm so excited about the camaraderie that's going to come out of it also, but that's different.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So again, go to 10tenths.co to find out if we have seats left for that. Garrett, another way that I look at purchasing limits too is just trying new things. Like you were saying, you try all these different things on the track. Well, maybe if I did this, maybe if I did that, because a lot of people think, well, is it just about putting your foot down and seeing if I can make that turn? It's like, maybe. Sometimes it might be just, I'm just going to push really hard to see if I can go, physically or emotionally or mentally beyond this point. But sometimes your limit is not necessarily a solid line somewhere. It is a mentality, is an approach. It is just a circular system that you're stuck in, and maybe just trying something new that maybe isn't even physically hard, but actually breaking a routine to try something new becomes hard, where now you're like pushing a different kind of limit. And when you start to do these things in different aspects of your life, it does come back into your business, because you start to say, well, hey, I've been doing this marketing campaign. I've been doing this routine around making my phone calls. And now that I'm looking at it, it's not really working the way that I want it to. I've just been doing it because that's the way we do things. Maybe I need to try something new. Maybe I need to step it up a little bit, step outside my comfort zone and offer the market impact reports in person or whatever it might be. All of a sudden you think differently. That's the point, right? I mean, why do kids go to college? A lot of people say, oh, you go to college because you got to learn something, right? That's why we go to school. And yes, there are things that we need to learn. One of the biggest things that I think kids get out of college, Garrett, is an experience to test different things. They come out with experience in trying new things, pushing their own limits, and hopefully an education as well. Because you are in an environment that, for a lot of places anyway, encourages those types of things. You're in a, quote, safe space where you can try different things. Now, can you do that in the, quote, real world as well? Sure. There may be greater consequences sometimes to certain things. But I look at that as a big reason why college exists, to help you expand your thinking, expand your horizons, so that when you go to the real world, you have that opportunity to make bigger decisions for yourself, and maybe even take some bigger, what might seem and look like as risks, but are actually just opportunities to grow yourself, right? I'm not saying you need that environment to do it, but I look at that, that's what it's designed for. And if you can build those into your patterns throughout your year, when it does come time to business planning, you're gonna be in a good headspace to really kind of rethink, like,
I heard an interesting thing about going off to college here recently that made me kind of reframe, because I mean, I've gone down both routes. I've had my two girls have gone through high school. We told them that we support you going to college if you want to go to college. We more so went down the lines like, if there's stuff you want to learn, that's a great time to go to college, but don't just go to college just to go to college. But I think actually what a degree actually means now more than anything, because a lot of people go and they get their degree in nursing, or they get it in psychology, or they get it in business. And they're like, oh, but I'm not getting a job that fits my degree that I have. And they're focused on that so much. And this is what was said to me that I thought was so important. What a degree says is that you start hard things and you finish hard things. Different schools that you have a degree from. Why does a degree from Harvard mean it doesn't matter what you got the degree in. What does a degree from Harvard mean? You started Harvard and you finished Harvard. You did all the assignments and everything it took to get to the very end, and you figured it out to the point that they said, we're going to give you a degree from Harvard. Now, that degree might mean a little bit different if you got it from your local community college. It's like, yes, you did it, you completed it, you got a degree. But again, it's what you had to go through to be able to finish that all out. And I heard another thing that goes along the lines of this, which is that, when somebody asks you, like, how did you figure out how to do that? I got myself in so deep over my head that I had to figure out a way out. Like, that's how I got good at doing that. I think college causes you to have to do that. It puts you in situations where you are in potentially over your head and you have a safe place to figure it out. That's what the track does, that we're going to allow you to be in a space that you're going to get yourself in, maybe over your head.
Yeah.
But you're in a safe environment that allows you to see beyond of what is actually possible and where are my limits. Most of us don't push far enough in any of our aspects of our lives to figure out where the limits are. And I want to encourage all of you, take an aspect of your life, take a relationship that you have and you go, what if I push that to the absolute upper limits of what that relationship could be with my spouse? Really say, okay, this would be beyond the level of love that I have right now, beyond the level of connection that I have right now. How would I find that? Like, what could I do differently if I were to approach every day to have my spouse know that that's the level that I see them at, that's the person that they are? Look at your business. There are so many places that we go out, Matt, and we just go and we tootle around the track at 30 miles an hour and go, I'm on the racetrack. Like, there we go. And just, we're doing the stuff. But like, where are the limits at that? Like, what if I took that business and I just stepped it up? What if it wasn't, we talked about this on the group coaching this morning, Matt, and I said, market impact reports, who's doing them? Hands went up. And then Jordan stepped in and he was like, here's how I do it. And my preferred way is mailing them out. I could just mail these out, get these done. And then we started talking about but what gives better results? What takes it to the next level? We had another person jump on and say, I do it this way. And I know it would be better if I do this, but that takes more time. I got other things I need to be working on. And it's like, this, where is it that it produces exponential results? Where all of a sudden you're setting crazy lap times on a track, you're getting crazy referrals in your business. You're getting crazy reviews on Google because people just think you are the coolest, most amazing realtor that's available on the planet. Like, what if we found those limits? And that's what I want to encourage everybody. Like, look at the end of this year. 2026 is opening up all kinds of opportunities. I know people right now that see their goals are obtainable within the next couple months here right now. They're like, not in a year. Like, I'm talking about, we're sitting here recording this in July. They're going, I think I'm going to hit my numbers in August. I think I'm going to hit my numbers in September. Like, I can see it right there. This is a marketplace that if you approach it correctly will allow you to push limits right now. They all will, but it's right there at your fingertips.
Well, and I think the ownership of those limits, right? Pairing off of a little bit of what we talked about on the last episode, the limits that are around, you touched on it at the beginning, are set by us. And if we acknowledge that and accept that, then we're able to go beyond them. So many times, particularly in business, do we say, well, this limit that exists is not me. It is the market. It is the environment. It is this thing over here. And I tell you, that's not true. The trends could be influenced by those external factors. Absolutely. There are things that happen that we cannot control that do have influence over our environment and potentially then face us with different decisions that may not be the best decisions that we want to be able to choose from. Your ability to make the choices that help you go beyond your limits that you set are based on your ability to be able to take ownership of those things and know that your limit that you're experiencing right now is manufactured by yourself. You have the opportunity to push beyond that and to make other decisions that can help you get around those things and learn about them too. Because there's always somebody who's outperforming the market. Averages wouldn't exist if there weren't people who are outperforming or underperforming.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
A lot of our limits are set by well-meaning individuals that we look up to, or they are self-preservation.
Well-meaning individuals say to us.
Say that again?
Or the acceptance on our part of what those well-meaning individuals say to us, right?
Oh, 100%. There are people that have more weight in our world than others. And the other part is self-preservation, where we don't want to hurt ourselves. We do this all the time. When you're a kid, there's a certain place where you're willing to jump off of a roof. I have jumped off many roofs in my lifetime. I am now getting to a place in my life that I'm like, no, we need to get a ladder. Like I'm not going to take the leap off the roof. I can already hear my knees go, please don't do that. We start to get into self-preservation mode, and a lot of times because we've learned a lot. We've seen ourselves maybe get hurt. We've seen things happen. We've watched other people get hurt. We go, no, not me. I'm not going to do that. And it's not always real. Those things that we're concerned about out there and these places that we might get hurt in, sometimes there's some little changes you can make, and somebody will say, oh, you can still jump off a roof at 48 years old, but here's what you're going to want to do. You're not going to try to plant your feet when you land. You're going to tuck and roll. Like, let's look at this a little bit differently. By the way, I'm not encouraging
of all
anybody
the
to do
examples to choose from.
Oh yeah, no, we're going big.
I have jumped off of a roof before though too. So,
but I think that like there's things and little tools that you can learn that all of a sudden you go, oh, that's why somebody can do that, and go, that's why they don't get hurt. Go watch some crazy parkour. You can go find them on YouTube right now, and you'll watch people take leaps off of buildings, off of crazy stuff that most of us would go, that is not smart to do, but they do it over and over and over again because they have learned the limits of what you can do, how you do it, how you approach it. And this is, I think, in our world, we just don't find out what those limits are a lot of the times. And, in business, it's where a lot of people's mindset gets the best of them. And they never push that. And there's so many reasons, Matt. Sometimes just trying to fit in with the herd stops us from actually going and pushing the limits. Because, my gosh, if I was that good, I mean, what would they think?
Yeah, well, and I want to add this on here too, because you brought up kind of the compounding effect of when you work consistently to push your limits. And I will say that our event we're designing it to give this kind of slap in the face of pushing the limit, but it's going to be up to everybody who attends to then take that and build on it as they go forward. Part of the reason why we timed it right before our GPS business planning workshop. But when you look at everyday life, like you talked about, like at this age, should I be doing this? Well, it depends. Have we been preparing? Have we been building up our ability? Have we been pushing those limits, not just that one line, but all the other things that can contribute to the compounding effect of being healthy enough to be able to perform a certain action, or to be smart enough or to be skilled enough to perform to certain things. So your limits are also the result of how you approach your everyday life, the habits that you choose, because a limit that you have right now could be completely obliterated just by changing a habit. However, that obliteration may not appear 6-12 months from now. But when it does, you'll be like, oh gosh, all those people who said once you turn 40, life goes downhill. I'm in the best shape of my life now because I made this one change to my habit. I saw a guy, this is great. Actually, he was a gentleman that used to coach me as part of his mastermind group. And when he turned 40, he started really taking care of himself, going to the gym and stuff. And as he was approaching 50, deadlifting more weight than he ever had in his life, best physical shape of his life, right? Counter to what everybody says, oh man, you're not going to be able to do this and this as you get older. The dude is absolutely going the opposite direction of where he was in his 30s because of a habit change that he made. And anybody listening can do that too. And your limits will expand beyond. It's not just about a one-time thing. It's using the one-time thing to show that your mind has the ability to control the little things that truly push those limits out, Garrett. And man, you can do it.
Well, going back to this event, and I've done this on the track many times, where I've gone out with a coach on the track. And you'll go out and you'll spend your day, and they're helping you. They're usually in the passenger seat. This is not this event, but this is a normal track days that you can hire a coach for. And I've always laughed because they're on the track and they're going, okay, I want you to come up here and I want you to brake later. And then on my mark, I want you to turn. I want you to turn in as hard as you can. And we're going to take this corner from a completely different angle than what you've been doing at. And all of a sudden you're like, you can feel the cars faster. You can feel you're just approaching it in a very different way that you've never approached it before. And all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like that produced a exponential better result than what I was doing before. I thought I was doing pretty good too. And then after a day of you going like, I am the master of the world. I have figured this out. I know the fastest ways. I should be a race car driver. All of a sudden the professional driver says, hey, you want to come out with me in my car real quick? Or even worse, when they're like, hey, can I drive your car? Because then it takes out the whole thing of like, oh, that's his car. It's set up differently. And he goes out and just obliterates your lap time, like just crushes it. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was my car doing the exact same track with somebody that actually has mastered certain skills. And look at this crazy results they just got out of it, that I have so much more to learn. I have so much more to grow. And those environments, when you can put yourself into them and see things from a different angle and approach it from a different angle and watch others approach it from a different angle, and you go, oh my gosh, I can just little pieces, you keep picking them apart. Because then there's the next part of it of like having a good lap and then doing it consistently, doing it over and over and over again. And you watch a professional driver, they can go out and put down a record lap time over and over and over and over again. It's not a fluke. It was not like, whoa, you got a fast lap time. How did you do it? I have no idea. I have no idea how I did it. It was fast though. They know exactly where they're supposed to be, exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And just again, when we go back into our world, you know, in business, how inconsistent are we with all the things that we do? You know, just look at a handwritten note. How consistent are we with the type of pen that we use, the environment that we write our notes in, what kind of handwritten notes we write, what kind of stationery do we use, or do we kind of switch it up every time? You know, do it a little bit differently, a little bit different style here and there. How about market impact reports? How consistent are we with those? Well, sometimes we do them with people for our anniversaries. Sometimes we do them because we got somebody that we thought that would really enjoy it. Sometimes we do them face to face. Sometimes we email them. Well, what are your results you get with it? They're good. I mean, it's a good part of my business. Well, what if you found the way that made the biggest impact and you just did that consistently over and over and over again? And there's so many aspects of our business that when we can just start to get into that kind of groove and you do it consistently, the results get exponentially better. And that's what we want you all to be thinking about. That's why we're going to do this driving event, Matt, as we've mentioned it so many times on this episode, is that we're here to help you see outside the box. Yeah. It's what our goal is with 10 Tenths. It's what our goal is with the environments that we create and we bring you all into. And with our event, it's going to be no different. It's an opportunity to see the world from a little bit of a different angle, surround yourself with some amazing people, and start to ask yourself, you know, what are my limits? Where can I go? Are there any limits? We're going to have some fun, Matt.
Yeah, it is going to be great. So we encourage everybody, figure out, and if you can't join us for this event, that doesn't mean that you can't go push your limits. There's an opportunity to do it every single day.
Yep.
You just have to accept that challenge of yourself and give it a shot.
If you heard Matt and I say your business should fuel your life, it should not consume it. We are big believers in this. If that feels like a message that resonates with you, as I've said before, please come and join us. Come join us for the event. Come join us in the 11 Circle. Come join us on the inside track. We're going to be building the inside track out with more and more value for you. We have all kinds of tools that we are creating, we are putting together, that we're just going to start adding more in there. We encourage you to come be a part of that. And Matt, with that being said, thank you, sir, for your time. If you want to come follow us on YouTube, come and like and subscribe. That means the world to us. And listen to us on Spotify, Apple, where you find us right now. Keep showing up, keep commenting, keep liking. We appreciate all of you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.